I'm thrilled to be here. I'm here for a year at the American Academy here in Rome. It is the best studio. I grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is in the South, during desegregation. I grew up in a housing project, was raised by a single mother, and I have two sisters. I'm the baby. My oldest sister, Renee, is mentally disabled. And so Renee is currently 57 years old, but has the mindset of a third grader and has epilepsy. And I am her legal guardian since my mother passed away 12 years ago. And this is the first time in my adult life that I have been without Renee and haven't had the responsibility of caretaker. I went to school during desegregation, which means I was bused across town from a housing project to predominantly white schools that were middle, upper class kids going there, which totally impacted who I am, actually. This sort of division of being an outsider and being bused and being the only black or just one of just a few black people. My mother was married to Renee and my other sister, Ronnie's father, but he left when we were 3. And I didn't find out until I was 17 that my biological father was my dad. I thought that I was Lessinger's kid, but I wasn't. And my mom was really mad at my dad. She indirectly prevented me from having a relationship with him. So it wasn't really until after her death, 12 years ago, that I started developing a relationship with him and getting to know him, and he's delightful. I like him. Actually, we have a lot in common. I mean, I'm like him a lot. When I was growing up in the housing project and bused across town to predominantly white schools, they had a clown club, and me and my middle sister, Ronnie, joined the clown club, and we were the only blacks in this clown club. And we had to dress in white face paint. We had to really disguise our blackness to be a part of this club, and we would do birthday parties and parades and all kinds of gigs. Anyway, I fell in love with it. I identified with, being a clown, and I felt like I was more accepted as a clown than I was as a black woman from the projects. I think one thing that is really important to me, and what has unfolded thus far with my stay here in Italy, is a real self-discovery. Who am I without Renee and without the role of caretaker? I'm learning how to be, in the front. And who I am and what I might look like or act like or be in the context without Renee. So that's one thing that's happening here in Rome. It's also about taking in this culture and the people who have inspired me and the people who look nothing like me that I see myself in. The fellows that I've painted since I've been here, because they're, they reflect a part of subconsciously who I think I am. So it's about this journey, this discovery of self, in this Roman context. When I was growing up, first of all, we were really poor, and I only had white dolls because black dolls were not in, and those people who had black dolls were white people who had families that had money. So I had no black dolls growing up. And so a dear friend of mine, Kim, found Grace on auction and said, I'm gonna get this doll for you. And so she did. And it's just like the doll that I call her my alter ego. Like she's, the little girl inside of me, she's my buddy, and she shows up regularly in my paintings. So yeah. So I'm glad to have her here with me on this journey in Rome. I haven't really painted him yet, but I'm going to, because when I talked to my father, he talked about having bib overalls on, and it being hot, and having a handkerchief to wipe the sweat from his head. So this little guy reminds me of, my dad in South Carolina picking cotton.